I will be recording this course and I will be posting the recorded course to the Google Drive. Okay, and you can, if you miss the class or if you want to go over the class, you can use the Google Drive and watch the lecture again. So today will be our first lecture, and I will be basically going over the syllabus. So since this online teaching is very new to us, okay, so basically we will try to see how we will manage it. Okay, so today it will be some kind of a trailer. Okay, so we will not go deep on today. So, and when I was a student, the thing that okay, so when I was a student, the thing that I didn't like was having a lecture on the first day of the class, and given it is summer, so I will just keep it very short today. But we will start our lectures on Wednesday in a regular time. Okay, so let me go over the syllabus. So I will share the screen right now. Okay, and if you have any questions, so I will stop regularly, and if I will ask whether you have a question, please do not hesitate to ask your question, because so it is very important to ask, understand so what I'm expecting from you. And so if you have some problems, okay, so you can tell me individually, you can send me individual emails, okay, so mentioning that whether you will have some difficulty to participating the class, or whether you will have some difficulty to watching the online videos, then we will try to solve it. Okay, so let me share the screen for the syllabus. I shared the syllabus with all of you. Okay, so let me, you can see it, right? Yes, okay, so perfect. So basically, so you know the name of the class, and basically, so this class will be held on Monday and Wednesday, okay? And so the regular starting time for Monday is 5:40, and it will take until the 8:30. And Wednesday, so the class time will start at 1:40, and it will end in 4:30. So the class will be on Zoom, and basically I will be sharing you the Zoom link for with you, so before the class. Okay, so you need to check your emails regularly. So there is one thing that I would like to highlight. So Sabancı University is waiting from us to teach at least 3/4 of the class in a synchronized way. So what I mean by the synchronized way is basically, so whenever I am teaching you, okay, you should be there. Okay, you need to be able to ask questions whenever you want. And they are giving us a freedom to teach this class, 1/4 of this class, so offline. Okay, so by offline, I mean that I can record it, the class, and I can post it to the Google Drive. So I don't know whether you know or not. So I'm now in US because of this pandemic, so I couldn't travel to Turkey. And because of the time difference here, I am unable to teach the first part of the Wednesday class. Okay, so I asked them to change it, and so that is the way that they can do the best. And what we will do is basically, so on Tuesdays, I will record the class and I will send you the link for that. Okay, so basically, so you can join me while I'm recording on Tuesdays. Okay, and if you want, so you can participate that. Otherwise, so I will post to the first half of the class on Tuesdays. Okay, then on Wednesdays we will start, so 8:30 here, so which will be 3:30 at Turkey. Okay, so then we will do the synchronized part in Turkey. Okay, starting from 3:30 on Wednesdays. Okay, so is this clear? Okay, so what we will do is basically, so on Mondays, okay, so we will do a synchronized class. Okay, so which means that we will start at 5:40 and our class will take until 8:30. Okay, but on Wednesdays, the first half of the class will be recorded. Okay, so which means that I will record it before, I will post it, and you will watch it before the class. Okay, and on Wednesdays, I will start at 3:30 and I will go until 4:30. Okay, so which means that three quarter of our class will be synchronized. Okay, so we will do it as regular Zoom classes, and one quarter of the class will be recorded. And all class, so I will record all class as I am doing right now, and I will post them on the Google Drive. Okay, is this clear right now? I will post all the classes. Okay, so basically, so I will record and I will post all the classes. The only thing for the first half of the Wednesday class will be basically, I will not do it on the regular time. Okay, but no matter what, okay, so you missed the Monday class or the second half of the Wednesday class, you will always have access to the classes on the Google Drive. Okay, so you don't need to worry about whether you missed the class or not, so it will be always available to you. The only part is basically on Wednesdays, I will not be able to do the first half of the class as a synchronized. Okay, but it's always good to, for example, so I don't want to talk to the laptop, I don't want to talk to the walls, so it is always good to good to have participation of the students. And whenever I'm recording the first part of the class, whenever I am recording the first part of the class for Wednesdays, I will basically say that, okay, I'm holding that class on Tuesday this time. Okay, if you want, please participate. Okay, you can participate. Okay. Şimdi buraya, so is there anyone who cannot understand Turkish? Yes. Okay. So I will just explain it so very little. Okay, so this is basically so the direct translation of what I have explained in English. Okay, so just to make sure so we are on the same page. And if you are not non-Turkish speaker, so basically I can explain it later on. Okay, so this part will be just Turkish. Okay, so şimdi arkadaşlar çarşamba gününkü 1:40'da başlaması gereken dersin ilk kısmını ben daha önceden kaydedip Google Drive'a koyacağım. Yani biz derse çarşamba günleri 1:40 yerine 3:30'da başlamış olacağız. Sizden yani istediğim de şu olacak. O record ettiğim kısmı, record edip koyduğum kısmı dersten önce izlemiş olmanız gerekiyor. Yani bunun başka bir şeyi yok. Diğer günlerdeki derse de pazartesi günü ve çarşamba günü bütün derslerimize zaten record edip koyacağız. Hani hepsini kaydedip koyacağız. Ders kaçırdığınızda da zaten Google Drive'dan bunları izleme şansınız olacak. Tamam mıdır? Hani anlaşılmayan bir şey yok sanırım şu anda.
Hocam bir şey sorabilir miyim?
Tabii ki sor.
1:40 ile 3:30 arasında o zaman Zoom'da ders olmayacak. Doğru anladım değil mi?
Evet, doğru anladınız. So there will be no class on Wednesdays between 1:40 to 3:30 on Zoom. It will be pre-recorded. I will record it and I will put it in the Google Drive, and you can watch it, okay, before the class. But the main point here is basically whenever I am recording that part of the class, I will tell you, okay, whenever I'm recording it, and you will basically free to join me so while I am recording that part of the class. Okay, so the only part is basically it will not be synchronized. Clear?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so then the recitations will be on Fridays. Okay, so between 5:40 to 7:30. So except this first week, so I will ask your TAs to hold these recitations every week, and they will be basically solving the questions that I'm assigning to them, and the homework questions, and they will be basically answering your questions. So I will have office hours on Tuesdays between 5:30 to 6:30, or if you cannot make this time, you can just send me email. Okay, so you have my email here, and you can basically take an appointment. Okay, so that is the part, and you can see the office hours of your TAs, the office hours of TAs and their emails here. Okay, so this station attendance is not mandatory, but I strongly suggest it. Okay, and I will ask them to record their sessions also. Okay, so which means that so if you miss it, so you will find the recorded version of their recitations are on the Google Drive. Okay, again, so because this is the online teaching, okay, and so we are in the middle of this pandemic, I am not asking mandatory attendance. Okay, but from my experience, okay, so I have been teaching this class so here for many years, and so I also taught this class last summer in Sabancı. So if you can, please attend the class. Okay, please attend the recitations. Okay, so it will make a huge difference. I know you have some internships. I know you may have some different things going on your life, but I highly suggest you to participate in the classes. Okay, and if you miss it, okay, you will have all the resources available for you. Okay. So I explained this online teaching part. Okay, so everything will be put on the Google Drive, everything that will be recorded. This is the course objective and description. So I don't know whether all of you whether you have taken any microeconomic classes before or not, but so this will be basically the intermediate microeconomics class, and our objective will be basically so teaching you the very basics of the microeconomics. And what do we mean by the microeconomics? So the microeconomics is the problem of the individual. Okay, so basically individual firm or individual agent or individual game player or something like that. Okay, so it will be different from the microeconomics, and we will try to cover the very basic topics. Okay, so in this class. And as you will see that, so there will be not that much difference from the math classes that you have already taken. So I will require you to have some very basic math knowledge here. So basically the calculus. And once we start the class, so you will see what I mean here. Okay. So the textbook is basically the Perlov's textbook. So it is microeconomics class textbook. So I don't require you to buy this textbook. So I will be basically posting my lecture notes after I finish all the chapters, and I will be basically providing you the homework questions. So in PDF, so it will not be questions from the textbook, but as a reference book, I suggest you to buy this book or any other microeconomics book. Okay, so it will work. So there is not that much difference between different books, but this Perlov's book will be the book that I will basically going over the chapters. But again, okay, so if you don't buy, you are not losing anything. Okay, so you can go over my lecture notes, and so which I will be posting on the Moodle, and basically you will see it. Okay, and you can also find the online versions of this book on the internet. Okay, so it may not be the 8th edition. It doesn't matter. Okay, you can find the online version. Okay, so just Google microeconomics and Perlov, you will see a bunch of the different editions. Okay, so the grading part, I will assign you many homeworks. So ideally, so every week, and the homeworks will be basically, it will be basically 20% of your grade will come from homeworks. There will be a class project here. I will explain it in a few minutes. So you will have a midterm. This is a tentative date, but if there is no that much conflict, so I would like to do the midterm on July 22nd. The final exam will be done in the regular final date, and I will announce it in this week or at the beginning of the next week, but it will be on the regular final dates. So this midterm and final will be take home. I will think about how much time that you will require to complete these exams, but I'm sure that so you have some experience to do those kind of to take home midterms, and but I'm sure that you have some experience to do those take home midterms and finals. So what I will ask you to do it alone, okay? So which means that you should do it by yourself, okay? So Fırat, I think you have a question, so can you ask a question? So you can do homework as a group, okay? But in order to prepare for the midterm and final, so I suggest you to do it by yourself, okay? And but you need to submit your individual homework, okay? So I'm not asking you to submit the homework as a group, okay? So no matter what you study as a group, you need to submit your homework as an individual, okay? So Ata, I think you have a question. Okay, so you asked that how long time that you will have for the take-home exams. So I haven't decided yet. Okay, so it will depend on how difficult the midterm questions are. Okay, so if I think that so you can complete the exams in 2 hours, I will give you, for example, 3 hours to basically to upload your solutions and everything to not to have any problem. But if I think that the questions are hard, and I may give you more time. Okay, so it depends on how much time that you require. But again, okay, so basically, so we will try to make it good for everyone. Okay, so you may have some kind of things going on that day. Okay, you may need to take classes on that day. I need to think about it. Okay, but right now, so tentatively, so it will not be that much different from the regular midterms that you are taking, the regular finals that you are taking. I will just give extra half an hour for uploading and something like that. Okay, good. So next thing is this project. Okay, so the project will be basically, so you can write 2 different projects. So those will be short papers. So the first topic that you can use is basically, so you can look at a real life problem, and you can try to explain that real life problem, okay, by using the tools that we have learned in this class. Okay, for example, you can try to explain the effects of this pandemic on the travels or something like that, on the airfares or on the other things, by using the tools that we have learned in this class. Okay, that will be one topic, and you can ask me so whether it is a good question to answer by using the tools that we have learned in the class. And the other thing that you can do is basically you can select a topic that has been awarded with Nobel Prize in economics, and you can explain it. Okay, you can write a summary. Okay, so why this topic is important. Okay, what was the achievement of this economist so to get this Nobel Prize, something like that. Okay, so there will be no limit for that. Okay, so as long as it's a Nobel Prize in economics, you can write a summary for the reasons for why that topics has been that topic has been awarded with the Nobel Prize. Okay, so the project will due before the final exams. Okay, so and it will correspond to the 10% of your grade. So the projects are individual. Okay, so you need to submit everything individually. Okay, but you can work as a group. Okay, so there is no you will never be hurt by working together, and I encourage it. But at the end, you need to submit your individual project. You need to submit your individual homework. Of course, your individual midterm and final. Okay. So makeups. Okay, so I need to talk with the other faculty in Sabancı University and to ask whether I need to change this policy. But basically, so if you need to take a makeup exam because of some medical issues or some other issues, some unexpected issues, so I will basically try to find a solution for that. And so what I am doing is basic. So if you miss the midterm, okay, and if you have a medical report, your midterm will be counted as 0. Oh, sorry. You need to have the medical report for that, okay, and you will have the right to take the exam. And if you don't have a medical report or some excuse that can be accepted by Sabancı University, if you don't have them, so it will count as 0. Okay. So for the midterms, I will transfer the weight to the final. Okay, basically, so then if you miss the midterm and if you have a medical report, then the weight of the final will be 70%. Okay. And if you miss the final, then you will be given a makeup exam. Okay. And if the student misses all exams, you will basically get NA as your grade. Okay, and you need to submit your medical reports in 3 days after the final to be eligible to take the makeup exam for the final. Okay, so I need to double check it with this policy with the Sabancı University faculty members, and I will try to see whether they are using something similar. But so from my experience from last year, so that was the way that we have done before. Okay, any questions? Good. And this one is the policy. It is what you know. And this will be the tentative outline for our course. And today we will start with the supply and demand, then we will go over the consumer choice, then the firms, the cost, the type of the firms, the general equilibrium model, the monopoly game theory, asymmetric information, and contracts and moral hazards. Okay, so this will be the very basic topics of the microeconomics. And I will try to go over all these chapters, but our objective in this course is basically not rushing on all the chapters. Okay, so I will try to basically my goal in this course is basically you to learn very basics. Okay, because of that, at some point of this class, I may take the class very slow. Okay, if you don't understand something, then do not hesitate to ask. Okay, so do not hesitate to stop me and ask it again and again. Okay, there is no shame to miss and understand something, not to understand something. Okay, so that is syllabus. Any question? Syllabus'ta anlaşılmayan bir şey var mı arkadaşlar? So I will your final grades will be basically based on so where you are in the class. Okay, so it will be I will use curve. Okay, so I don't know how you say it, but so there is no catalog grading here. So you will basically, I'm just saying, okay, so this percent of the class will take A, then this percent of the class will take A minus. It goes like that. Yes, so it's impossible to have 3 straight hours. Okay, we will have breaks. Okay, but for today, okay, we will not have break. I will continue, but we will have a short class today. But starting from the other days, we will have breaks. Of course, so you will learn your final grades before the you see your letter grades. Okay, so we will try. So I don't know the exact days that we need to post your final grade, so your letter grades. Okay, but you will definitely learn your final grade, and you will have chance to object the grading. Okay, so if you think that there is something wrong there, and if there is a mistake on our side, on the TA side, we will try to fix it. Okay, so don't worry about it. Another question? Bir sorumuz yok değil mi arkadaşlar? Şimdi, so I will ask you to do something, okay? So basically, so perfect. So regularly, okay, so I don't know, so whether your professors in Sabancı University are using the PowerPoint or they are going over some different techniques. So they are using different techniques in the class. So I'm some kind of an old-fashioned guy, okay, and so I was always using the whiteboard for my lectures. Okay, so I was writing on the whiteboard, and so my writing is terrible. Okay, so you will see it in a few minutes, and if you cannot read it, so okay, please tell me to explain. Okay, and so right now, so I'm using 2 screens here. I'm trying to follow the chat part, and if you cannot get me an answer for the question that you ask in the chat, okay, so just unmute yourself and you can just ask it. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask something like that. Okay, so, and I also encourage you to participate, so actively participate the class. Okay, if you have a question, just unmute yourself, ask the question, then mute yourself. Okay, so once it may be really difficult for me to follow 2 screens at the same time. Good. Perfect. So this is what we will do. So let me stop sharing for a second. So I will turn off my camera because I will change the direction of the my laptop, and I will share screen again. Okay, so you can see my screen again, right? So it is some white page. Can you see it? Perfect. Okay, so now we will start our first lecture. Okay, so let's try. So today we will start with the supply and demand. Okay, so this will be basically the very simple, okay, thing that you will see in the economics. And so, but it is the, let me say that the backbone of the economics. Okay, so this is the way that we can understand the markets. That is the way that's the way that we can model more complicated economic phenomena. Okay, so suppose that so you are at the Sabancı University campus, and so you are at front of the Küçük Ev. Okay, so you all know Küçük Ev, right? Okay, and so I ask you that, so I will buy you some pide. Okay, and I ask you how many pide you want. Okay, so what will be your answer here? Okay, guys, so I'm not sure whether I have lost you. Okay, so there are some answers saying 1, 1.5. Okay, so remember that. Okay, I am buying. Okay, so you are not paying. Okay, so how many pides that you want? Okay, 1.5 is nothing for you. Okay, so you can ask 4 or 5 or something like that. Okay, so basically this question, okay, your answer will depend on many different things. Okay, so it depends on whether you like pide. Okay, so you may prefer to buy something else. Okay, so you may prefer to go to the Starbucks next to it, and you may want to have some coffee. Okay, instead of pide. Okay, so you may just say that, okay, if you are buying, I will prefer me to buy some coffee. Okay, so some cappuccino, some macchiato, or something like that. Okay, or it may depend on your budget. Okay, so you may not, you may have just some money to buy either coffee or pide, and you may just want to allocate all your money to the coffee. Okay, so or something else, or you may not have enough money to do that. Okay, here pide may not be a clear example or good example, but I may ask you to how many BMW cars that you would like to buy. Okay, it may depend on how much money that you have. Okay, and it may also depend on the alternatives. Okay, so the alternatives are also related with the, so how, whether you like pide or not. Okay, so you may want to buy something else. Okay, so this basic question. Okay, so how many pide do you want? Okay, it's basically the following question. So what is your demand for? Okay, so here we can change it, so we can ask what is your demand for X. Okay, I will stop here. Okay, so can you read my handwriting? Perfect. Okay, perfect. So demand will be our main concern here. Okay, so in general, so demand for a good depends on its price, your taste, price of the goods. Okay, your taste, the information that you have, price of the other goods and your income. Okay, so basically, so you can just think it as a demand, okay, so as an output here. Okay, so and the output for something is depending on the inputs here. Okay, and these will be all the inputs of your demand. Okay, so for example, of course, so the if they are selling you the PIDE for $1 million, okay, so you will demand nothing. Okay, so it's ridiculous. For example, if they are selling you a BMW car for just $1,000, you may want to buy as many as possible. Okay, your taste will be also important here. Okay, so if you are a vegetarian, okay, so you don't want to buy any kıymalı pide or sucuklu pide. Okay, or if you prefer to buy something else, or if you are a fan of pizza instead of pide, okay, so you may want to buy pizza or something like that. Okay, so why the information is affecting your demand for a good, you may know that, okay, so I'm asking you, so whether you would like to buy pide from küçük ev, or you would like to go to the Viaport and buy a pide from another store there. Okay, so the information that you have, if you know that the pide in Viaport is much better than the pide in Sabancı University, then you may just want to go there and buy from there. Okay, and the price of the other goods will also affect it. Okay, for example, if you I don't know whether you look at the price of different mobile phones. For example, if you compare Samsung and iPhone, so you will always see that they have almost the same price for the corresponding phones. But if you just compare iPhone and Vestel Venus, okay, you will see that there is a huge price difference here. Okay, and the other good price may affect you to buy different goods. Okay, so I don't know whether you would like to buy Vestel Venus or not, but it may also affect. And of course, okay, so at the end, so somebody is paying for it, okay, and you may be super rich, okay, you may own everything, but usually, so we all assume that so your income is limited. Okay, the money that you want to spare, for some certain goods will be limited by your income. Okay. So let's try to define what we mean by demand. Okay, so the amount of a good that consumers are willing to buy at a given price holding everything as constant is called the quantity demanded. Okay, so sorry for my writing here. Okay, so let's say that, okay, so what this definition is telling us. Okay, so let's go over this definition. Okay, so here we are saying that the amount of the good that the consumers are willing to buy at a given price. Okay, so this is important. Okay, so we are fixing a price. Okay, I am telling you, okay, so I'm not just saying you what is your demand for pizza or for BMW car. I'm telling you how many BMW car that you want to buy if the price is this $1,000. Okay, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. You may have all different answers for different price level. But the thing is, whenever I'm asking you your demand, I need to say a price. Okay? And the other important part is holding everything as constant. Okay, what do we mean by this? Okay, I need to say that, okay, so the price of the Mercedes car will be constant. Okay, it will not change, but I may change the price for the BMW. Okay, and I may ask you the how many units of BMW car that you demanded. Okay, and as you can see here, there is a relation between price and quantity demanded. And this relation is shown by using something we call demand curve. Okay, so let me stop for a second. Is everything clear? Good. Okay. Her şey yolunda değil mi arkadaşlar? So I want to hear a few of your voices. Okay, so I don't know whether you are doing something else right now and just turn on your computer. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so this relation is shown by using, okay, something that we call demand curve. Okay, again, so whenever I'm saying that, so of course this will be a graph. Okay, so whenever I'm using whenever I want to show relation between two things, okay, so here price and quantity demanded, I can just use two dimensions. Okay, and on one dimension, okay, so this will be the horizontal axis, and this will be this is the vertical, this is the horizontal axis, or you can say this x-axis, and this is y-axis. Okay, so whenever we would like to depict the relation between the price and quantity demanded, I can use this graph. Okay, and what I'm trying to do is basically for a given price, how much unit that you want. Okay, I will just put the notes dots here. Okay, for example, if so let's say that this is the price level. Okay, so let's say this is dollars and this is quantity. Okay, for example, whenever the price is this much, okay, so let's say that is 10. Okay, so whenever the price is $10, you may want this many clothes. Okay, whenever it is $8, okay, so what will be, so will you demand more or less? More, of course, more. Okay, so basically, so you will demand this many. Okay, when the price increases, so whenever I ask, okay, so again, so we are not looking for the price in the market. I'm just saying that what if the price is this one? What if the price is this one? Okay, so what if the price is 12? okay, you may demand less. Okay, so imagine that I do this for all price levels. Okay, then I can draw a, of course this should be a linear line. Okay, sorry for my drawing. So suppose that it's a linear line, and this linear line is giving me the relation between the price of the good and the amount that I am demanding. Okay. For example, suppose that this is $14.3 and this is $286. Okay. So what is the demand when the price is more than 14.3? For example, what's the quantity demanded when the price is 50? I haven't shown you in the graph, right? But you can answer that question. It is 0. Okay. So in fact, so why it is 0? Because so you can imagine that this graph goes in this direction. Okay. So which means that this 14.3 is the maximum price you want to pay. Okay. And as you can see, as the price goes down, okay, in this direction, so you demand more, okay. But when the price is 0, so your demand is, when price is 0, you demand 286. Okay, so which means that you don't want to buy more of this good. Okay, that's enough. For example, so if this is pide, okay, so you can say that in a year, okay, so you want to consume at most 286 portions of pide. Okay, other than that, so you don't want to be obese, or you don't want to get weight or something like that, or you want to do something else. Even the price is 0, you don't want to go beyond that level. Okay, so this is basically the demand curve. Okay, here I use a linear line to show the demand curve. Okay, but for different goods, so demand curve can be like this. Okay, or it can be something like that. Okay, so these are different demand curves. Okay, but for the sake of this class, okay, so to keep everything simple, okay, so we will be basically focusing on, so our focus will be on the linear line. Okay, so it doesn't say the supply is 286. Okay, and we haven't said anything yet about the supply. Okay, so this is basically, so it is depending on your taste. Okay, so it means that, so you are getting some kind of a satisfaction for consuming this good until you are consuming more, and at some point when you hit 286 for this example, you want to consume nothing else. Okay, you are getting some kind of a dissatisfaction from consuming this good. Okay, so we haven't talked anything about supply yet, or we haven't talked anything about the firm side. Okay, let me put in that way. Okay, so we are just looking for the consumer here. Is that clear? Perfect. Okay, so this is a linear line. Okay, so I can use the graph. Okay, so at some point, so I can try to explain everything in this class by using graphs, but at some point it will not be easy to do that. Okay, because of that I need to use some mathematical equations, and I can explain the relation between the price and quantity demanded by using a mathematical formulation. Okay, so which we call the demand function. Okay, I will explain more detail, okay, in a few seconds, but let's try to understand. So what function can explain this explain the relation that we are seeing on this graph? Okay, so this is again, I'm repeating myself, this is again a linear line, right? And the equation for the linear line is always shown like this. Okay, so we are putting y-axis here. Okay, y is equal to a plus b times x. Okay, so this is the whatever you have on the vertical axis, and this is whatever you have on the horizontal axis, right? So what do we have on the vertical axis on the demand curve? We have price. And so this A and B are some constants. Okay. And we have constant A, we have constant B, and we have quantity. Okay. So the question is, specific to this graph, what is A and what is B? Can we find them by just looking at this graph? Okay, so how can we find A and B by just looking at this graph? Okay, so we can use these extreme points. Okay, so this point and this point will give so will help us to find this A and B. Okay, how? So let me just use this part of the paper. Okay, so let's think about this point. Okay, so this point. What is price at that point? Excellent. So at that point, so let's say that this point 1. Okay, at point 1, price is equal to 0. What is demand at that point? Quantity is equal to 286. I'm just putting these variables here. Okay, so 0 is equal to A plus 286 times B. So which is minus A is equal to 286B. Okay, so I found the relation between A and B. But there is one more point that I can use here, I can utilize here, and it is, let's say this is point 2. So this is point 1. So whatever I'm having from point 1, and I can also use point 2. Okay, so let me use this part for point 2. So what is the price at point 2? P is equal to 14.3, and Q is equal to what? It is 0. If I just put those numbers to this equation, I got 14.3 is equal to A plus B times 0. So this will cancel out. Then A is equal to 14.3. And once I put minus 14.3 is equal to 286B, I can find B here. Okay. So which is Öngönür told, it is 0.143. No, it should be, so here B is minus 1/20. Good. Her şey yolunda mı arkadaşlar? Çok güzel. So let me do one more thing, okay? And I will stop. Okay, so that will be the end of the class for today, okay? So that is, I will just try to finish up the demand part, okay? And we will stop today. So I will answer your questions, okay? So I will just not go away. I will just answer your questions, but that will be the main things that we will be covering today, okay? So let me draw the demand curve again here. Sorry. So this is quantity, this is price, so this is demand curve. Okay. So as you can see here, or when we were talking about when we were trying to explain the demand, okay, so we said that as the price increases, your demand will decrease. Okay, and we can see this through the demand curve. Okay, so here demand curve is always, okay, so to the extent that we are covering in this class, is always downward sloping. Okay, so which means that so it goes in this direction. Okay, so as price increases, the quantity demand decreases. Okay, and this phenomenon is known as law of demand. So which basically says that as price increases, quantity demanded will decrease. Okay, and this will so this will be basically our some kind of a assumption that we will be using in through this lecture. Okay, so there may be different goods. Okay, so you can just think about, so if the price of one good becomes very low, then the demand may be decreasing. Okay, for the luxury goods it might be just the opposite. But so we will be basically assuming that this law holds for the regular goods or the ordinary goods. Okay. Good. Okay. Now let's turn back to, I will draw the demand curve again. Okay. And suppose that so we are interested in the demand for, let me say, beef. Okay. So we are looking for the demand for beef. Suppose that so we are using this linear demand curve for the beef. Okay, so this is the linear demand curve for beef. Okay. So we said that, okay, so this shows the relation between, okay, the price of beef. Okay, so this is the price of beef, and this is the quantity demanded for beef. Okay. So suppose that in the market, sorry for the writing, so let me just try to solve this. So the price of chicken decreases. Okay. What will happen to this demand curve? Or let me say that, okay, for example, so when the price of beef is $5, or I think it is 50 liras in Turkey. Okay, 1 kilogram is 50 liras in Turkey. So then you are demanding, let me say that, so 2 units of beef, okay, 2 kilograms of beef, okay? And if the price of chicken decreases, will you demand more beef or less beef? Okay. I think my question is not clear, okay? So let me repeat it again, okay? So we are looking the change in the price of chicken, okay? So suppose that, okay, so remember, at the beginning, we told that, so we are looking for demand of a good for a fixed price of the other goods. Okay, we have fixed the price of chicken. Then we have decreased the price of chicken. Okay, then would you demand more beef or less beef? It will be, come on, more. Yeah, it will be more. So let me try to explain this part in Turkish. I will repeat it again in English. Okay? Şimdi burada düşünmeniz gereken şu. Sizin belirli bir bütçeniz var. Diyelim ki tavuk ile işte kıymayı, dana etini birbirine rakip olarak görüyorsunuz. Diyorsunuz ki işte benim şu kadar bir maaşım var. Bu maaşımdan bu kadar kıyma alacağım, bu kadar tavuk aldım. Burada sorduğumda mesela bu price'ı 5 iken beef'in ne kadar quantity demanded for the beef dediğimde sizin cevabınız diğer faktörlerin de etkisi altında. Çünkü siz kafanızda diyorsunuz ki ben şu kadarını tavuğa ayırıyorum, bu kadarını işte balığa ayırıyorum, bu kadarını sebzeye ayırıyorum, bu kadarını şuna ayırıyorum diye düşünüyorsunuz. Burada tavuğun fiyatı düştüğünde o zaman şu etki oluyor. Kıyma göreceli olarak daha ucuzlamış oluyor. Bir ürün daha ucuzladığında siz ne yapıyorsunuz? Daha çok almak istiyorsunuz. Açık oldu mu biraz daha burası? Aynen, aynen. Hani o şekilde de düşünebiliriz. Hani BİF'e daha çok bütçe kalacak ve daha fazla talep olacak gibi. Aynı şekilde BİF'in fiyatını relatifli olarak ucuzladığını da düşünebilirsiniz. Hani aynı kalıyor ama hani tavuğun fiyatı uçmuş böyle hani astronomik rakamlara ulaşmış. O zaman BİF hani artık ben tavuk tüketmeyeyim, BİF tüketeyim diye. Income'la dolaylı olarak alakalı. Birebir alakalı değil. Sizin income'ınız değişmiyor. Sadece alış gücünüz değişiyor. Purchasing power changes. Okay? So let me try to explain this part in English. Okay? So here we are just thinking that you have a limited budget. Okay? For that limited budget, we are fixing the price of beef to, for example, $5 and the price of chicken to, let me say, $7. Okay, so these are the initial price. So you said that, okay, whenever the price of beef is $5, I would like to consume 2 kilograms of beef every week or every month or whatever. Okay. But then something happened, okay, and the price of chicken changes, okay, and it changes in a way that so it has decreased to $1. Let's think what will happen here. So this will of course affect your purchase, the amount that you would like to purchase chicken, okay, it will increase, okay, because it becomes cheaper. Okay, so I explain everything wrong. Okay, so here it doesn't decrease. Okay, so let's say that it is increasing. Okay, so it is increasing from $7 to $10. Okay, sorry for that. Okay. Okay, so let me take it from the beginning. Okay, so suppose that the price of chicken is 7 at initial. Okay, so chicken is 7, and I'm not saying what's the price of beef. Okay, I'm just saying that how many units of how many kilograms of beef that you will consume when the price of beef is $5. Okay, I am fixing the price of chicken to 7. Okay, so remember that for the quantity demanded, we are fixing the price of all the other goods. Okay, it's fixed, sabitledik. Then you say that, okay, whenever the price of beef is $5, I would like to consume 2 kilograms. Okay, if price of beef is 5, you would like to consume 2 kilograms of beef. Okay, then I said that, okay, something happened and the price of chicken now increases to $10. Okay, then it will have an effect on your purchasing power. Okay, so what happens then? Okay, now if I ask you the question again, if price of beef is $5, okay, again I'm asking for the same price level. Even I'm keeping the price level of beef the same, $5 in both cases. Now it is relatively cheaper than chicken. Okay, so which is basically a shift from your purchase from chicken to beef. Okay, then you will shift your budget from chicken to beef purchase. So which means that you may want to purchase more beef here. Okay, so it will be basically, for example, 3 kilograms of beef. Okay, but how? Okay, so you are right. The quantity demand for the chicken will decrease, but here we are just focusing on the quantity demand for beef. Okay, so we are just thinking, okay, so that will happen, but we are just interested in the quantity of the beef that we would like to purchase for the same price. Okay, so we will come to that part in the later chapters. Okay, so when we talk about the consumer choice. Okay, so we are just trying to explain what is affecting your demand for one single good. Okay, then how do I explain it? Okay, so on the graph, the price of beef is again $5. Now you would like to consume 3 kilograms. Okay, but this point is not on the initial demand curve that we have drawn. What do I need to do? Yes, we will shift the curve. Okay, so basically, so the curve is nothing as the union of the dots here. Okay, now my taste, okay, something changed for my demand. Okay, now I have a new demand. Since I have a new demand, I need to represent this new demand by a new demand curve. Okay, so which means that I need to draw this curve, a new demand curve. Okay, so this is the demand curve for chicken price $10. This is the demand curve for beef. This is the demand curve for beef when chicken price is $7. Okay, so basically our demand curve for the beef shift to the right. Okay, so now for the same price I am demanding more. Okay, what if the price of chicken decreases? Okay, then we will have a shift to the left. Okay, so this is the demand curve for beef and chicken price is $5. Okay, so we can represent the effect of the changes in the other factors like affecting the demand by using the shift of the demand curve. Okay, so remember, the demand curve is just showing the relation between the price itself, okay, price of the goods, and the quantity demanded. Whenever something happened to the other factors, okay, so remember the other factors that we have listed. Okay, so it was the price of the competitor goods. Okay, so your income. Okay, whenever they change, so we need to have a shift on the demand curve. Okay, so let's do one more exercise. Okay, and we will try to see whether we are on the same page. Okay, suppose this is the demand curve, so this is the quantity, so this is price. Okay, so let's say that this is demand curve for beef when your income is let's say $2,000. Okay, suppose you have a raise. Okay, your new income is $5,000. Okay, what will be the effect of this increase in the income on your demand curve? Okay, let's try to answer this question by working on the graph. Okay, so let's fix a price here. Okay, so let's say this is again $5. Okay, for the initial income, when your income is $2,000, okay, you may demand again 2 kilograms of beef every week. Okay, so when your income increases, okay, So would you demand more beef or less beef? It will be more, right? Again, so basically, so what will happen here is basically we are looking for the same price. Okay, so what is the same price? 5. Since you demand more, okay, so then your demand will be somewhere here. Okay, so let's say this is 4. So which means that your new demand curve need to pass through this point. Okay, so your new demand and your income increases. Okay, so this is the green one is the demand curve for beef when your income is okay, $5,000. Okay, so what if your income decreases? So you will demand less. Okay, so this is the demand curve and your income is, let's say, $1,000. Okay, so increase in the income will cause the demand curve to shift to the right. The decrease in the income will cause a shift on the left. The increase in the price of the other goods will cause a shift on the right, and the decrease will cause a shift on the left. Okay, so I think we can stop here. Okay, do we have any questions? Any questions? Okay, so there are no questions at this point. Okay, so again, okay, I will repeat this part in Turkish again, but so let me explain it for the ones who have not here, so from the beginning of the class. So we will have classes on Mondays and Wednesdays, okay? So Sabancı University is requiring for the faculty members to have a synchronized class, okay, for the at least for the 3/4 of the classes that they are doing, okay? And we will have a synchronized class on Mondays, so in the regular time, okay, we will start in the regular time, and we will continue up until 8:30. So we will have 2 classes every Monday. Okay, so we will have a break between the 2 classes. Since this is our first class, the beginning of the semester, so I will stop here, and this will be all for today. For Wednesdays, so what we do is a little bit tricky. Okay, so I will post half of the first half of the class. Okay, I will record it before. I will post the first half of the class to the Google Drive. Okay, you will have chance to watch it before. And on Wednesdays, we will start at 3:30. Okay, and we will so we will do the synchronized class at starting from 3:30, and we will continue up until 4:30. Okay, I will do this recorded part of the class on Tuesdays. And if you want to join me, okay, while I'm recording to the first half of the class for Wednesdays for on Tuesday, you are always welcome. And I will announce one when I am doing the first half of the class, and you will join me, and we will do it as a synchronized. This is because of the time difference between where I am right now in the US and so the time difference in Istanbul. And we will try to manage it like this. Okay. And burasını bir daha Türkçe söyleyeyim. Pazartesi günleri normalde dersimize 5.40'da başlayıp 8.30'a kadar devam edeceğiz. Bugün ilk dersimiz olduğundan dolayı kısa keseceğim biraz. Bir buçuk ders yapmış gibi olacağız. Derslerimiz arasında teneffüs vereceğiz. Her zaman olduğu gibi 10'ar dakika. Çarşamba günleri ise buradaki zaman farkından dolayı dersin ilk kısmını ben daha önceden kaydedip Google Drive'a yükleyeceğim. Bu kaydı da salı günleri yapacağım. Salı günleri yaparken de size haber vereceğim. Hani katılmak isteyenleriniz aranızda canlı olarak izlemek ve soru sormak isteyenleriniz olursa bu benim tercih ettiğim bir şey. Her zaman katılabilirsiniz. Eğer ki zaman size uygun değilse onu da şu şekilde yapacağız. Google Drive'dan bu dersi, kaydedeceğim dersi çarşamba günü 3.30'da başlamadan önce izlemenizi isteyeceğim. Yani çünkü birbirlerinin devamı olduğundan dolayı izlemiş olmanız her zaman için önemli olacak. And I will be recording all the class. Okay, so basically, so if you are missing the Monday class or the second half of the Wednesday class, it doesn't matter. You will always have an access to watch them online, okay, from the Google Drive. I need to talk with the IT people from Sabancı University, and so I hope they will help me for this saving the recorded versions, but this will be how we will do the rest of the semester, okay? And I have uploaded the syllabus on the website, okay? And the final date is not clear there, okay? So I will also put the due date for the project, and every homework and every projects will be, I will ask you to do it, or I'm asking you to submit it individually, but you can work as a group. Okay? Any questions? Mikrofonlarınızı açarak konuşabilirsiniz. You can talk.
Hayır hocam, sağ olun.
Teşekkürler hocam.
All clear hocam, thank you.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you.
So for the first week, so I will not. So the timing of I may assign you the homeworks not on Wednesdays. Okay, I may assign you the homeworks on Thursdays, but you will always have a week, 1 week to complete your homeworks. Okay, so which means that so if I assign you a homework this Thursday or Wednesday, okay, I will ask you to submit your homeworks by the next week. Okay, and on Fridays your TAs will try to solve those questions on the recitation. Good. Okay, so hopefully so everything worked for today. Okay, so the recording and everything, so I will ask you to check your Google Drive, so once I upload this video, and so just let me know so everything is working with the video. I don't know whether it has done the recording perfect or not, but you will check it, okay? So the project, the starting time for the project is up to you, okay? But the due date for the project will be before the finals. Okay, so it will be some kind of a homework, but it's a longer homework, okay? And we can discuss the topics that you would like to work on your project, okay? So outside of the class, okay? You can just email me, okay, saying that, so this is the topic that I would like to work on, okay? And we can think about it, and we can try to see whether it's a good topic or whether you need to change it. But I want you to free on your choice of the topic. So for this week, there will be no recitation. So there is no page limitation for your project, okay? So it is basically so I see this project as a way you to be more familiar with the economics, okay? So it's a requirement, but it's not a strict requirement, okay? So I just want you to work either a topic on which has received a Nobel Prize, or a topic that you can relate what you have learned in this class, okay? So the project is not a group project, okay? So you can work as a project, as a group, but I want you to submit your own project, okay? And so let me be clear. So you need to have a separate project from everyone else. Burada grup projesinden kastınız şey ise hani 4 kişi bir proje yapıp herkes aynısını mı submit edecek? Hayır. Herkes individual olarak bir proje submit edecek. Everyone needs to submit their own project. Any other questions? Okay, so no questions. I will stop the lecture here, this point. And if you have any questions, okay, so if you cannot ask right now, if something comes to your mind, okay, so do not hesitate to send me an email, okay? I will try to answer the emails so whenever I get them, okay? And if you don't get an answer, okay, so do not hesitate to send the email again and again. Tamam, yani aklınıza başka bir şey gelirse de sormaktan çekinmeyin. Bu biraz hepimiz için yeni bir şey, online ders vermek. Biraz eksiğimiz, gediğimiz olabilir. Hani onları da sizlerin yardımıyla, sizlerin feedback ile çözmeye çalışacağız. That's it for today. Okay. So please, okay, so one more thing. Please check your emails frequently. Okay. So basically, the reason why I'm asking you because of this offline part of the class. Okay, so I may say that okay, I'm starting to recording the class. So if you want to join, you can join it. Okay. Okay, that's all for today. Okay. See you on Wednesday. Bye bye.